Hello, everybody. Thank you for attending the UCLA Financial Aid Scholarship presentation. Jan from the Financial Aid Office is here, and he is going to talk a little bit about financing your study abroad program.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? My name is Jan Hastings, and I'm a supervisor in the Financial Aid Office. And as she just mentioned, we're going to talk about, some of the ways to fund your for study abroad program. And going to talk about who can apply for UCLA study abroad. Because it's primarily, undergrad students and grad students can apply for financial aid to attend and it can be an entering or continuing UCLA student, but you have to be attending either a UCAP program or a UCLA study abroad program that's offered through the International Education Office. There are some programs out there that, some departments recommend. If it's not a UCAP program or a program that's offered through the International Education Office, then you will not be able to get financial aid for those programs. And so that's the only programs that, you will be eligible for financial aid through UCLA. To get any type of financial aid for any, whether it be for education abroad or for just, to get financial aid to attend UCLA, you have to complete either the free application for federal student aid, which is located at fafsa.ed.gov here, or for DREAM students, they apply for the California DREAM Act application, and they would go to this website here, dream.csac.ca.gov. Now, these applications are available October 1st of every year. So, it's already out there. They're already available. In order to be considered on time, you have to submit the FAFSA or the DREAM application no later than March the 2nd. And these are firm deadlines. If you don't meet those deadlines, you'll still be eligible for, some aid, but for the university-based aid, you won't qualify for those. For those people applying for, California residents applying for the Cal Grant, in addition to doing one of these two applications, you also have to do the Cal Grant GPA verification form, and that also has to be done by March the 2nd. Now, again, going further into about the application deadlines, summer is a little bit different. So when we talk about, for academic year programs, for the EAP programs, you do the FAFSA or the DREAM application, and you're okay. For the summer, for the EAP programs, you just have to do the FAFSA or the DREAM application. But if you're interested in any of the programs offered through the International Education Office, which would be summer travel, global internships, for those programs, in addition to the FAFSA and the DREAM application, you also have to do a UCLA summer application. And the deadline to do that is going to be April the 2nd of this coming year. Those applications won't be available until March the 1st. So between March 1st and April 2nd, if you're doing a summer travel program or the global internships program, you'll need to also go to My UCLA under the Finance and Jobs tab. You'll click on Financial Aid, and then you'll see Summer Financial Aid Applications. And I'm going to talk about, now, one thing to keep in mind, you could only get financial aid for participating in one program. An example of that would be when you go to My UCLA and go under summer financial aid applications, there are several different types of programs that you'll see. that you can apply for. You're only going to get financial aid for one of these programs. So if you're planning on doing the summer travel study program, and you're also planning on attending and taking classes, and let's say you're going to do summer travel study in session A, and you're planning on taking classes here at UCLA in summer session C, you won't get aid for both. You'll get one or the other. You'll let us know it'll be determined by which application you do. If you do the UCLA summer session and College Summer Institute application, that's the program you're going to get aid for. If you do the summer travel study, then that's what you're going to get your aid for. So again, you will not get aid for doing two different programs. Now, after you submit that summer application, you're going to get a confirmation email. If you don't get the confirmation email, that means you either didn't completely, fill out the summer application, or there are sometimes that some people go in and fill out the application, but they forget to submit it. So if you don't get a confirmation email, that means you didn't complete all the processes that needed to be done. So you might want to go back to My UCLA and make sure that you completed the summer application. Okay. Now, once you've done all the applications, sometimes for some students, we ask for additional documentation because sometimes you get selected for a review process called verification. And in that process, we'll be asking for either the parents' tax transcripts or the students' tax transcripts. We'll be requesting that you complete either, if you're a dependent student, we will ask that you and your parents complete the dependent verification form. If you didn't file taxes, then we'll need proof of that, proof of non-filing status. Now, the way to find out if you have any of these forms due, you'll go to My UCLA under the Finance and Jobs tab, and then you'll click on Document Tracking, and it will let you know if there's any additional documents that we're requesting. Now, keep in mind, this is important because until your file is complete, we won't start processing your financial aid. So if you turn in everything with the exception of the proof of non-filing status, we won't start packaging you. So again, we need all the information so that we can do the calculations to determine what you're eligible for. Now, we do have, we try to do everybody, get everybody done in a timely manner to ensure that we can get everybody done in time so that you can get your aid for the summer. It's important that if you have any of these outstanding documents, make sure you get them in no later than April the 10th. If you get them in, get them in sooner than that. As earlier I told you, the deadline to do the FAFSA or the DREAM application was March 2nd. Forget about March 2nd. If you have not done it, go ahead and get it done between now and December. That way you're already done. That way you can also find out if there's any additional documents you need from us, that we need from you. The key is forget about these deadlines I'm giving you. Go ahead and get everything done now. Now, during the summer, as I said a little while ago, summer is different. During the summer, we don't offer as much in the way of grants that we normally do during the academic year. During the summer, we don't offer Cal grants. We only offer the Pell Grant and University Grant if you're eligible for them. And last year in the University Grant, the most we offered in the University Grant was $2,900. We don't know what the amount's going to be, this coming summer because that's too far off. We don't know what type of funding we have available. But I'm just, letting you know that it's during the summer, it's very loan heavy because, that we don't have, the grants to give out that we do have during the academic year. Also because there's no Cal Grant offered in the summer. And loans, I know a lot of people think that financial aid is just grants and scholarships. Loans are a type of financial aid. So you will be offered loans during the summer as well as the grants and scholarships if you have the eligibility. Okay, I'm going to give you an example of, because I know most people want to know how much will I get? I can only give you an example of, or will your program be covered? Okay, John submitted the FAFSA by March 2nd, and they also did the summer travel application by April 2nd. So they did everything on time. And this person, John, is based upon the FAFSA information and based upon after calculating his eligibility, his EFC number, which is the expected family contribution. And no, that does not mean that's what the family is expected to give. That's just the name that the government placed on that. It's really discretionary income that a family has that could be used towards education. So in this case, the EFC is $4,500. And then this student is planning on attending the History of Medieval Paris program and the dates are from June 20 through July 15th. And this student is going to be enrolled in 8 units. And that's important to know also because between 6 to 8 units is considered half time, 9 to 11 is 3/4 time, and 12 and above is considered full time. And again, this is important to know because if your Pell Grant for the quarter, if you would be eligible for $2,000 in Pell Grant, if you're half-time, then instead of getting the $2,000, you'll get $1,000. But I'll illustrate, that will be illustrated a little bit, in the next slide. So this program, the total cost for this program is $9,200. And that includes right here, the cost of attendance, the program budget. There's a program fee of $5,500, and $5,500 in this case is $5,500. And again, don't count on these numbers. If you're planning on taking this program that I'm talking about, these numbers are from 2 years ago. So this is not what the program is going to cost. We don't know what the program are going to cost next summer. I'm just using this as an illustration to show you that we will cover the full cost of attendance in what the cost of attendance is comprised of. And so it would be the program fee of $5,500, which you would see that on your Bruin bill. But then we also take into consideration that there's additional expenses such as personal expenses, airfare, for books, for room and board. So all that totals out to the $9,200. That's the cost of attendance for the program. This student, John, his financial aid based upon his eligibility, based upon the fact that he's taking 8 units, I have $1,100. That's what it would have been 2 years ago. Last year, the university grant would have been, because as I told you earlier, the max university grant was $2,900, and that's if you're attending full-time. Because this student is half-time, because remember I said 6 to 8 units is half-time, so that $2,900 gets cut in half, and in last year, this student would have received $1,450 in a university grant, based upon the EFC being $4,500, and it being 8 units. This student would have received $245 in the Pell Grant, and to award up to the full $9,200, we would also award this student $78.55 in loans. Again, the lower the EFC, the higher your Pell Grant. And the university grant and the Pell Grant are going to be based upon the number of units you're taking. Okay, so I know a lot of people want to know when will they receive their award notifications, and we start awarding mid-May. and the financial aid award notices will be released between mid-May and early June. And I know a lot of you think this is late, but it's really not late because, first of all, financial aid cannot be released to the students more than 10 days prior to the beginning of the term. So let's say your program is going to begin June 30th. The earliest you'll be able to receive any financial aid would be June the 20th. If your program begins July the 15th, the earliest is going to be July the 5th. So again, it's all tied into, and that's by federal regulation. They don't allow us to release the money too early to the students. Now, when you get the financial aid notification, the FAN, you're going to look it over and follow the instructions on it, because it's going to ask, there's several questions we need to know to make sure that you've been awarded properly. And for those students that are first-time loan borrowers, and there will be instructions of what you need to do, but you need to complete a master promissory note, and you'll be completing a loan debt management session. Both of those will be, and we'll provide you with that information, but both of those will be on a federal website. It's studentaid.gov. Now, if your parents are planning on taking out a PLUS loan for you, and this is their first time receiving the PLUS loan, in addition to accepting the PLUS loan on the financial aid notification, the parent will also need to complete a parent loan application, a PLUS loan application, which is a credit check. It only takes 15 minutes to fill it out. They can either go to studentloans.gov or studentaid.gov. So they would go to that website, do the PLUS application. It'll let you know right away if you're approved or denied. If the parents are approved, then the next step they need to do is complete a master promissory note. Now, that's only if they're a first-time borrower. If they borrow before, the master promissory note is good for 10 years. So they won't need to do that again. But if it's a first-time borrower, then they're going to do the master promissory note at that same website where they're doing the PLUS application. Now, another thing, a lot of people think, well, maybe I don't need the loan, and I'll wait. And if I really feel I need it to pay or to have money while I'm overseas, I'll take the loan out at a later date. If you are planning on doing that, make sure the loan must be certified by us prior to the beginning of the summer session. So if you wait until September 20th to decide that you want to take out the loan, that will be too late because the summer will have already ended. So you must take out the loan sometime, and you accepting it the last day of the summer session, that's too late because that doesn't give us any time to receive your acceptance, and it also doesn't give us any time to certify the loan and send that certification to the Department of Education. So really, if you're planning on taking out a loan and you want to wait, I wouldn't wait past September the 1st. Try to get it done as soon as possible. Now, there are some people that they want, rather than borrow, using the federal loans, they want to take out a private loan for whatever reasons. Because some people, they can get a better rate on the private loan than they can for the PLUS loan. But whatever, the private loans take a little bit longer to process. So you should allow at least 2 weeks for processing time of the private loans. If you're offered a private loan on the financial notification, you'll accept it on there, but then you will need to locate a private lender. In other words, Wells Fargo, Sallie Mae, SunTrust. You'll pick whatever lender it is you want to borrow from. You'll go to their website and you'll apply for their loan. Don't waste time going to, like if you want to take out a loan with Wells Fargo, don't waste time going to the bank, the physical bank, because all they'll do is put you in a corner and have you log in to their website to complete the application. So again, whatever lender you're planning on using, go to their website and complete the application. Now, once you've applied with them, let us know also that what lender you're planning on using, and then that way we can be on the lookout for the loan. Because the lender, once they've approved you, they send the information to us asking us to certify the loan. As I said earlier, you're only going to get aid for one session. So if you're doing summer travel and session A, and you are also planning on taking session C, UCLA will bill you for both the summer travel and session C. The billing does not recognize, it's not going to say, well, this financial aid is only for summer travel. Financial aid will go in and it will pay towards your bill. So let's, I'm using this as a hypothetical. Let's say your summer travel program is $1,000 and your session C is $1,000. On your bill, it will reflect that you owe $2,000. Then let's say that you're getting $1,500 in financial aid for your summer travel program. And like you were saying, and that was, you were doing $1,500 in hopes that you would have $500 left over so that you could use that to help pay for your rent or pay for, meals or whatever, or your airfare. You would not receive that $500 because at that time, your bill is for $2,000. $1,500 would be going in, and that $1,500 would pay towards your $2,000 bill. Your bill will now be for $500. The only way you would be able to get that $500, you would have to cancel the summer session C class. Once that $1,000 for session C is taken off, then you would get your $500 refund. Or the other way to do it is just wait until you get your refund for from the summer travel program, then go ahead and sign up for your session C classes. But you just have to keep in mind that the system will not look and say, this refund is from the money for the summer travel program. And so it's not, the money will not say, I can only be applied to summer travel. The money goes in and pays whatever you owe on your Bruin bill. Now, there are, for those of you interested in scholarships, you may want to go to this website here. It's ieo.ucla.edu/scholarships. So basically, you're going to the International Education's website. Once you get there and look at scholarships, you can look at scholarships for the UCEAP program. You can look at scholarships for the travel study. You can look at scholarships for the global internships. And then there's also a global cities scholarships program. But again, go to ieo.ucla.edu/scholarships. And this is an example. You would go there, and there are, if you click on the scholarships program, there are a number of merit-based and need-based scholarship opportunities. Examples would be the travel study scholarship covers 50% of the program fee. The departmented scholarships, those amounts vary. Like I know the French department has some scholarships, and there's other, but go to that website and you'll see that there are a number of different types of scholarships out there. But the key to all scholarships is do it early. So this weekend you could go ahead and take a look at that site to see, and then that way you'll know what the deadlines are. Also, the key is if you don't apply for scholarships, the only guarantee I can give you is that you won't get anything. There is no guarantee that just because you applied for the scholarship that you will get money. But the big guarantee is if you don't apply, you definitely won't get anything. Now, some of the frequently asked questions are, will summer aid affect the academic year? It's a yes, no, answer. Basically, it does not affect it, but it can affect your loans because let's say for a junior student, junior dependent student, they can get up to $7,500 for the year. And that includes summer, fall, winter, and spring quarter. Summer is the first quarter of the academic year at UCLA. So between the summer, fall, winter, spring quarters, a dependent student can get, a junior can get up to $7,500. If you get any of that money during the summer, that means that that's that much less that will be available to you for the academic year, for the fall, winter, spring quarters. So let's say you take out $2,500 of your loans, your student loans, and use that for the summer. That means you only have $5,000 of loan eligibility remaining for the academic year. So as far as the Pell Grant goes, getting aid in the summer does not affect your Pell Grant eligibility for the fall, winter, spring quarters. The university grant that you get during the summer, that also does not affect your ability to get grant for the academic year. And the reason why we don't offer Cal Grant in the summer, because it does affect your eligibility for grants during the academic year. So that's why most people think that if they receive the Cal Grant as a freshman, that they're going to receive the Cal Grant for 4 years. You're not getting it for 4 years, you're getting it for 12 quarters. So if you attend summer, fall, winter, spring for 3 years, and if you were to get the Cal Grant, that means you would have used up all your Cal Grant eligibility by the end of your 3rd year, and you would have no Cal Grant left for your senior year. So that's the primary reason we don't offer Cal Grant during the summer, because we don't want you to be left without for your senior year. Now, another question is, when will financial aid post to my Bruin bill account? And as I said earlier, the earliest we can release money to your Bruin bill is 10 days prior to the beginning of the term. So let's say your program begins, earlier I gave you an example of the program begins on June 30th, and you would get the money June 20th. Well, let's say that your program begins June 20th. Okay, this is the one area that's a little bit different. We can't release any money any earlier than June the 15th. So even though that's not 10 days, again, we can't release the money because before, if we get into dispersing it, say June the 10th, we're dispersing summer money during the spring quarter, and we're not allowed to do that. So we cannot give you summer money, which is money for the 21-22 academic year. We can't give you that money during the 2021 academic year. Now, does financial aid pay my airfare? As I showed you in the illustration earlier, airfare is part of your cost of attendance. So yes, financial aid can help pay for your airfare, but it's going to be in the form of reimbursement. And the reason why is because, again, the earliest you're going to receive the financial aid is 10 days prior to the beginning of the term. And because of that, most of you are going to want to go ahead. Most people are not going to want to wait until 10 days prior to them leaving to purchase the airfare. So you'll have to make arrangements to purchase your airfare, and then when you get your financial aid, you'll be reimbursed. What if I want to cancel the program? Okay, so for the Global Internships Program, you have up until in person, up until February the 17th, late, at that night, just before midnight on February 17th, or virtually, you have until March 3rd, 11:59 p.m. Up until that point, you can withdraw from the program and there will be no ramifications. But after that point in time, you're going to be responsible for the full program fee. So if the program is $9,000 and you wait until, for the global internships, you wait until March the 15th to decide that you want to cancel the program, you will still be responsible for the full cost of the program. For the travel study program, you have until April the 7th. And that one, you have until 5 p.m. on April the 7th. If after 5 p.m., let's say 9 o'clock at night, you decide, I don't really want to do this program, you're going to be responsible for the full program fee. So if you decide to cancel, contact the travel study office and also the financial aid office. Let both of us know that you're intending to not participate in the travel study program or the global internships program. Okay, and can I know what my award letter will look like now? Can I get an estimate? That's it. Number one, if you have not done the FAFSA, then there's definitely no way that we can provide you with an estimate. Number two, as I said earlier, I can give you the same estimate that you just saw on there because I don't know what the university grant's going to be next summer. We don't know what the Pell Grant's going to be. Pell Grant is set by the federal government. They can't even come to an agreement on the COVID, on the care grant. So if they can't come to agreement on that right now, we probably won't know about the Pell Grant for next academic year until, and it also depends on how the elections turn out. I would think the earliest we're going to know is going to be sometime in April. So, that's why we can't really give you an estimate because we don't even know how much grant money we're going to have, or what the amounts are going to be for the grant. The only estimate we can really tell you is we will cover between grants, scholarships, and loans, your program will be covered. To contact us, especially the financial aid right now, we're operating remotely. We're not on campus. We're not in Murphy Hall. We're all working from home. So the best way to reach us is either through the message center, and you can go to our website, which is financialaid.ucla.edu. You click on contact us info, and then you'll see the link to access the messaging center. Or for information, you can go to our website, which is financialaid.ucla.edu. As we do have information on there, we have like little training sessions, little webinars that discuss study abroad programs. Okay, so now we're going to open it up to questions.
Hi everyone, my name is Alejandra and I'm with the International Education Office, the Travel Study Unit. We have one question right now for Jan. Does financial aid cover my flight costs?
Pardon me?
Does financial aid cover my flight costs?
Oh, yeah, as I said, it can cover the airfare, but it's going to be in the form of a reimbursement because as I illustrated earlier, the cost of attendance includes the program cost plus room and board plus personal plus airfare. So it will be, the award that we're giving you will take into consideration your airfare, but it will be a reimbursement because, as I said earlier, the earliest you'll be able to receive any of the financial aid is going to be 10 days prior to the beginning of the term.
We are taking any questions right now. If anyone has any more to ask Jan,
Okay.
please feel.
What is, somebody asked a question about what is the keyboard for a scavenger hunt? Keyword for the scavenger hunt. I don't have that.
This session is not taking part in the scavenger hunt. Does anyone have any more questions? We have Jan here available for anything you might need to inquire about. If we have no more questions, we can go ahead and end the presentation.
Thanks everyone for attending this financial aid session. This will conclude. Thank you so much for attending.